I'm with you. I'm with you 1,000%. This is the bad feeling that people get on Bernie's strategy, right? Everybody loves Bernie's platform, his policies. Everybody loves that Bernie, the way he's lived his life and the example he sets, that he doesn't take the corporate money, but he is willing to roll over when as soon as the establishment pressures him, like he did at the convention when he let them just take the credentials away from his delegates, and he never stood up for them, and they turned the lights out and the sound can, and he never stood up for them, right? And then he went on a unity tour, and now here it is. It's just unbelievable irony, Matt. I don't want to say it. I don't want to beat a dead horse or whatever, but it's just jaw dropping. The irony that's involved here, that you did a video showing how the media misrepresented his character. They then misrepresent your character, and he didn't stand up for you. That doesn't bode well. I don't know what that says, but if he loses, it's going to be because whatever the character flaw in his campaign is that allows shit like that to happen.
Yeah, and you know what the character flaw is? This is the sad thing is
the blah blah blah. So, but here's the irony here. Again, you did a video exposing how the media misframes the actual character of Bernie Sanders. And it was so popular, millions of people saw it, that they wanted to hire you. The media then misframes the videos that you've done in the past to slander your character, and Bernie Sanders doesn't stand up for you. That's kind of ironic.
Yeah.
So anyway, instead of him using this as an enabler, he just knuckles under the pressure. Just like when the Sanders campaign apologized for random Twitter trolls who were coming at supposedly the Working Families Party. He just decided to apologize. He does it constantly. Before he criticizes Joe Biden, he first says how much he likes him and what a good friends they are. Joe Biden is the problem. Joe Biden is the reason we have Donald Trump, and people are pissed off about it. And so it's just another step. I mean, to me, if Bernie loses, this is why he will lose. He doesn't stand. He stands up more than most, but not enough. You think Trump would have fired somebody over something like this who made awesome videos for them? Yeah. No. But Bernie does, because he's got one foot in the establishment and one foot out. And he's playing this game. And I hope I'm wrong and they're right. And it works. But I've been saying this for a while now. This is a shit strategy. He's got bad strategists. And this is another example of how they throw this guy under the bus. The irony that he made a video showing how the media misframes Bernie's character, and then the media misframes your character, and Bernie didn't stand up for it. That is a heartbreaker for me.
Yeah, no, it broke my heart too. They were, trying to throw them a little bit of a bone. They were under a lot of pressure from the media. But here's the thing. It's like, so I get a call from the campaign. They're like, we need a response. We need a response. I'm like, okay, yeah, I at that moment, I had just been, so I just, but anyway, but yes.
How are you going to run a revolution when you cower every time the PC assholes do something like this instead of standing up? This wasn't, but Matt, this wasn't PC culture. Mm-hmm. This wasn't PC culture. This was someone deliberately misframing what you did and knowing that the Sanders campaign would probably fold, and they did.
Yeah, but they panicked.
They panicked. Not a good sign.
Let me push back on a little bit too. I do think Bernie really does go after Biden constantly. Yes, he does call him his friend, and I understand why that would piss you off. He goes after the establishment, and he does offer solutions.
Just imagine what Trump is going to say to Biden if he's on the debate stage with him.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, and that's why I don't expect Biden to win in general. Yeah. So yeah, if Bernie did say the same stuff. Yeah.
All Bernie has to do is turn to Joe Biden and go, Joe, I think you're being paid to not understand how Medicare for all works. In fact, I have the data right here. You are being paid to not. Your kind of corruption we're getting rid of. He won't do it. He won't do that little thing. First he goes, you're a great guy. Everybody's great.
Has he really not pointed out that Joe Biden is funded by big insurance?
Well, if you think the way he's doing it is landing a knockout punch, you're wrong. He's got to go. It's not a conspiracy theory that you were corrupt with your kid on the energy board of Burisma and in China and on the Amtrak board, by the way. He's got to say that. But he's not. He's not saying it. Again,
You know, he's maybe part of it is because some of the knockout punches, like when he called out the Democratic establishment in the last debate, that got attributed to Elizabeth Warren in 3 media outlets.
So again, and he should
That quote.
and he
Did
should
you hear
highlight
that?
how this gets I mean, he's got it. It's not working like it should. And again, hopefully they know more than me. They didn't last time. And the idea that you're going to have a revolution, but first I'm going to go on a fucking unity tour.
Huh.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's the kind of schizophrenic thinking, right? It's like magical thinking in the Bernie campaign that somehow if they think we're going to win, that the Narrowtandans and everybody will just get in line. It's never going to happen. And this again, to think that they're going to let him become the nominee without him friggin' having to slaughter them politically, which is what he has to do. They're not going to let that happen. They wouldn't even let Keith Ellison become the head of the DNC for F's sake. You see what they did to install Tom Perez. People get mad at me when I point out that, while Bernie being a great candidate and having great platforms, and we like Bernie, that he's not good at picking strategists. The people around him they make people like you have that face right now. Like, what the fuck? That's exactly right. And I'm the only one I think is sounding the alarm. But people don't realize that, when they started Our Revolution, Bernie put his top guy, Jeff Weaver, in charge of Our Revolution. They had 13 employees. 8 of them walked out the day they appointed Jeff Weaver. That's how big of a F-up Jeff Weaver is. And that barely gets reported. It did get reported, but it barely. No one really knows, huh? Our Revolution, Jeff Weaver. It doesn't really people know, and so there's often splits inside campaigns. And I'm trying to, it's in a sense like I'm trying to use this unfortunate thing that happened to you to raise people's awareness that Bernie has horrible strategists, and he has a horrible strategy. It's not working. This idea that you can play footsies with the establishment that you're trying to overthrow. Does he realize that if he actually gets elected, that he is an existential threat to people like Joe Biden and the people who fund him? You really are an existential threat. So quit telling everybody how fucking good buddies you are with them. That is such a ridiculous strategy. People are pissed off and hurting. That's why 100 million people didn't vote last time, because nobody was offering them a solution. Offer them a solution and say, I'm going to overturn the corruption of guys like Joe Biden. Joe Biden is why you have Trump. Bernie's never going to do this, which is why he rolls over for people like you instead of standing up for people like you, which is why he didn't stand up for his delegates. Bernie's a great guy. Everybody has flaws, but I'm afraid he has a fatal flaw. This idea that he can have one foot in the establishment while he tries to overthrow it is not, I don't think it's going to work. Hey, again, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully not standing up for you is the way to go. Hopefully that will win him but I'm thinking it's not. Hopefully not taking the knockout punch on Joe Biden when he says, how are you going to pay for Medicare for all? Hopefully not doing that and just jabbing him and telling everybody what a good friend you are to him before you tell them what's wrong. Maybe that is the winning strategy. We'll find out. Time will tell. Maybe I will be wrong, and I hope I am. Believe me, I hope I am.
Me too.
Because Bernie ain't fucking changing. He ain't ever gonna give both barrels to the establishment. He's never gonna stand up for you. He's been playing along. This is the problem. You can't have a revolution inside of a counter-revolutionary party. You can't make the people you're trying to overthrow happy. You can't placate them at the same time you try to overthrow them. What does that make sense to you, Matt?
A lot of it makes sense to me. I agree with most of it. To be somewhat fair, like,
all right, Dan, stop the interview, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Can I give you some thoughts?
Yes, tell me what you disagree about.
Okay, well, I mean, just to be somewhat fair, like, just me personally, him standing up for me, obviously it's a huge disappointment. I think it was the wrong thing to do. But there are bigger issues like taking on Joe Biden, taking on big insurance and all.
Welcome to the grown-up world of shitty corporate reporting. There you go. Of course. And the irony is that Bernie didn't instead take this an opportunity to show, hey, here's another example of how the media slanders someone's character and misframes issues.